Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And, of course, the Brian Craig Show brought to you by Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting and Roofing. If you are in Florida and you need roof repair or replacement for any type of structure, Tom Laporta is the guy to do it. Online at laportaroofing.com. I'll give you his number later in the program. Okay. So a lot's been happening. We're just really a couple weeks away from the election. Everything's going so well. It's crazy how well things are going. Trump is ahead in all the polls. According really to the latest polls, he's ahead in all 7 battleground states.
Incredible.
Which is amazing. Now, with all that being said, we still got to swamp him, right? We need 1 million people or 100 million people. 1 million people, we'd be in trouble. We need 100 million people to show up and vote for Trump.
It's not going to be a problem.
It doesn't look like it's going to be a problem, no. So, but everyone's got to turn out.
Hillary said something really interesting last week. She keeps saying it. She said, Kamala needs to watch out because there's going to be a big October surprise that's going to make her look very bad that's going to come from Russia. You know, Hillary's obsessed with the idea that Russia helped Trump because she can't accept the fact that she's a loser. And this tells me that something is coming and that she knows about it. See, I think, Brian and I think that Biden's helping Trump.
Yes.
And now that there was an article in the New York Post about it, that we've been talking about it for weeks. And Hillary's all in with those people. I think there's some big shocking thing that's going to come out.
About Trump?
About Kamala.
About Kamala.
And Hillary knows it's coming because why would she say that? Why would she say Kamala needs to watch out because there's a big October surprise coming from Russia that's going to really hurt her? Why would she say that? She's setting the stage for an excuse for whatever it is that's coming out about her. And my imagination's running wild here. Well, I mean, I don't know how it can get any worse.
What I would think, Hillary is such a bitter old senile lady.
You think?
She couldn't be the first female president, so nobody else can, right?
Oh, maybe, you know what?
That's what some of that is.
Maybe she is, that's true. And I could see Hillary trying to secretly sabotage her.
Yeah, now
behind the scenes.
There is something I can't.
Maybe she's got the October surprise.
There is something, I can't reference it right now because it's really bad and it hasn't been confirmed. It's going crazy on Twitter about Tim Walz. And if it's true, it's good bad. I can't say what it is yet. It's really bad. And it hasn't been confirmed yet. It's all over Twitter over the weekend here. And we'll see how it plays out. But anyway, I want to get to this thing with Jessica Tarlov first before we get into everything else. I've never liked this idea on the 5 on Fox that they have to have a token liberal to beat up on. I mean, whoever the liberal is, it's Tarlov now. It used to be Bob Beckel. I'm really not interested in what liberals have to say.
Yeah.
I know some call me on the air. I know you guys say, well, you take calls from liberals. When I'm on the air, I take calls screenless, so anybody can call me.
Right.
And if somebody calls in because they're a liberal, I'm not going to hang up on them.
Well, and you don't hire them. I mean,
no, I don't hire them.
They're not your co-host.
Exactly.
It's a different. Fox has actively hired her and pays her millions of dollars.
What? Millions? I'm not sure
I'm
about
sure she
millions.
Makes a couple million a year.
I don't know what she makes.
They make big money there.
So whatever she makes is too much. If she's working for free, it's too much. But it's not the same thing. You're right. I'm not employing anyone, and they randomly call me. They employ her. And they've always done this. And I've never liked Jessica Tarlov. I'm very suspect of her. When she first joined the 5, I'd seen her. She was a talking head for a long time. I never really paid much attention. But when she first went on the 5, I looked her up. And she went to the London School of Economics. And my immediate reaction to that is very weird for an American to go to the London School of Economics. That sounds like a CIA college, right? That to me, that sounds like where the CIA sends people to go to school. Their deep state in the UK is the same deep state as ours, and I'm very suspect of that. And I'm just not really interested in what liberals have to say. And, here's the thing. President Trump was speaking at this group today with the guy from Goya, with the Hispanic group, Latino group. I don't know what the group was called, but he was speaking to them today. And he said the Republican Party is the party of common sense, right?
Right.
And that's so true. And the Democrat Party, and I don't say this lightly, and this is not something I use very often, but the Democrat Party is the party of mental illness. I mean, you look at Gretchen Whitmer.
It's become that for sure.
You know, you look at Gretchen Whitmer.
Yeah.
She's certifiably insane.
This thing she did with the Dorito was so bizarre, and now she's issued a huge apology.
That's too late.
Saying, I didn't mean to disparage Catholics. Okay, if you have somebody on their knees in front of you, which is weird in the first place, and you feed them a Dorito like you're feeding a Eucharist, what the hell does she think that looks like? She knew exactly what she was doing. These are evil people. They're blasphemous. They're godless people. I don't care what she says. And they mock Christianity. They think we're all lunatics like Bill Maher, that we're all schizophrenics.
Well, the thing with
because
Whitmer,
we believe in this stuff.
The thing with Whitmer and the Dorito, because I'm not disagreeing with you, but I see it a little differently, okay? Not only is she insane.
Well, yeah, you've always said that.
She wears, I mean, you could see it in her eyes.
Yeah.
Whitmer wears so much makeup.
Yeah.
You don't even know what she really looks like. And looking at Whitmer, I think when she was growing up, she was a dorky, nerdy kid. Mm-hmm. And she's always trying to be cool. And this thing with the Dorito and the communion, apparently it was some trend on TikTok or something. Billie Eilish, I heard said it. So she's always trying to be cool and hip, like the Fauci pillow and all that stupidity.
Like Obama's always trying.
Yeah, she's always trying to be cool and hip. And I was talking about this Dorito thing in the communion, you know, and I know a lot of Protestants don't like us Catholics. I mean, come on, we all believe in Jesus. I don't know why they're trying to have.
I don't know, we're the original church.
This is the thing about the Dorito and the communion. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of Protestants, and there's some differences like Lutherans and Methodists. Right. A lot of Protestant churches do have communion, okay? But they do. It's symbolic. And a lot of times, what it means is it's like just it's communion for the community of the church, mm-hmm. the people that go to the church. In the Catholic Church, okay, and the Catholic Church is the Catholics are not a Christian denomination, right? There's denominations: Baptist, Presbyterian, mm-hmm. Methodist. Okay, there's a lot of denominations, right? Even non-denominational, which I think non-denominational has really become a denomination in itself, the denomination of non-denominational. But the Catholic Church is not a denomination of Christianity. It is the church. It is Christianity. But if the Catholic Church was a denomination, it would be the largest denomination in the United States. Do you know that? There's more Catholics than any of these denominations. And the thing about the communion mockery that she did, Catholic Mass, it's Mass, it is all about the communion. And what Catholics believe, and I know people that aren't Christian think this is totally nuts. They're like, you're calling Whitmer crazy? Wait till you hear this, okay? Then you'll call me crazy. And I know a lot of Protestant Christians think this is nuts too. Catholics do not believe when we take communion that we're taking a cracker and some wine. Some churches use juice, but they don't think it's a cracker and wine. It actually becomes the blood and the body of Christ. That is what Catholics believe. Right. Okay, which includes us. And you call me crazy if you want. Okay, it's a Catholic Church, and I believe. You talk to the Pope. Well, maybe not. He's liberal on some things, but you know what I mean. But that's what
you go to the source. You go to Jesus. At the Last Supper, and he said, drink this wine. This is my blood. And when he gave out the bread, he said, "This is my body." I mean, so that you go to the source, and that's what he said. Mm-hmm. So he's the one who had the first communion at the Last Supper.
That's right.
On Maundy Thursday, the night before he was killed, and he set that whole thing up, and that's where that tradition came from. So when you have communion, you are partaking in that event with Jesus and the apostles, the saints. You are partaking in communion with them. It is very sacrilegious what she did.
Well, and if you watch
crazy,
if you watch a Catholic Mass, those who aren't Catholic, and you see like where the priest is up there, that's a table for the Mass. Okay, that's a table for the communion. So it is the Catholic Mass is all about the communion. What she did,
that's what it's all focused on.
What she did is beyond my ability to describe the offensiveness of it. Okay, it is just it's insanely offensive to Catholics.
Well, and I will say Episcopalians do communion.
Lutherans,
and even my best friend's Mormon, they do communion on special days like Christmas or Easter.
Yeah, but it's not quite the same thing.
Well, no, but I'm saying she didn't just offend Catholics. If you go to like a lot of Protestant, like we went to Charles Stanley Church, they didn't do communion when we were there, but maybe they do it at Christmas time. I don't know. Communion is not for the Catholics. It's more symbolic. I mean, it's not symbolic. It's a thing. Other churches, it's more of a symbolic thing, but it's still offensive to everyone. And I would venture to say it might even be offensive to some Jews who respect the Christian religion. They might, I know people that are Jewish. They'll say, "Look, I don't believe that Jesus is the Savior, but I respect your religion and I respect him as a person." And it might even offend that. You don't know. It was so blasphemous what she did. And for her to act like she didn't know what she was doing is nonsense. And you're right. She's a crazy person. And I think part of it is she wants to be hip. She's doing all these weird TikTok videos that are very strange and they're not cool. And what's going on is Trump is destroying them with Gen Z. He is absolutely destroying them with the young people. Tim Walz went to his old high school or wherever he taught, where he was a coach, and walked through the stands. Hardly anybody even paid attention to him. And all the players were wearing like T-shirts with the word Trump on it coming out from under their jerseys. So the young, and these are like guys that are seniors in high school that are, maybe not even old enough to vote yet, but they're still supporting Trump.
Yeah.
The young people, and when I say young, I mean 18 to 24 love Trump. They are absolutely sick of the wokeness. And here's what's so funny. The liberals are desperate to get the men now. They have basically admitted they have lost the men's vote, the black men and white men. They are begging men to vote for her. I mean, Jennifer Garner came out almost in tears saying men that vote for Harris are sexy. What the hell is she talking about? They are so desperate. So here you have a group of people that have done nothing but feminized men, have bashed men, have made toxic masculinity, have feminized the military. Alpha males are bad.
Yeah.
For years and years and years. Gender fluid. They have done everything to destroy masculine
Every
men.
movie and TV show is a woman with
Star
Wars roles.
And now they turn around. Please vote for her. And if you don't vote for her, you're not a real man.
And you know what's crazy too, Kathy?
They're crazy.
It's like they don't even understand why men aren't voting for them. They still don't even get it, even though they're trying to seduce them with Jennifer Garner. I mean,
well, believe me, the young people get it.
So anyway, what Whitmer did was insane.
Yeah.
And she's in big trouble because she apologized. Forgot. She plans on running. She's going to run in the Democrat primaries in 4 years, okay? And this is going to come up again, and it's going to be devastating for her. So anyway, let's get back to Jessica Tarlov. So I've never liked this idea that they got to have a token liberal. You know what the liberals are going to say. It's annoying. It really gives me a headache. I'm not interested in their crap. And it's the liberal person they have on the 5, whoever it is, because they've had different ones, and they've got a few different ones now that they rotate. They're just a punching bag for everyone else. It's so bizarre. It's like that scene in Airplane where the woman's hysterical and they're all lined up to slap her around. That's what it's like. So, but anyway,
well, what they like about it, and I don't think she's going to lose
balance,
her job,
they say.
Even though she made this comment about the final nail in the coffin, which is why everybody's so upset. But they're not going to fire her because they need a villain. And she's a good villain.
Well, they got other ones.
Everybody hates her. But, you have people that hate you, but they listen every day.
Yeah, this is different.
So I think it's, I don't know.
This is different. Let me play the clip.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, keep in mind, President Trump was shot. The guy at the golf course tried to do it again. And this is a quick clip. You got to listen carefully, but this is Tarlov on the 5.
That this is the chance to put the final nail in the coffin so that you don't have Donald Trump on the ballot again.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Was that after Butler, or was that what was that? What is she referencing there? So
crazy.
This is the thing. I'm not Donald Trump. There are certain I know people think that you have freedom of speech to say whatever you want to say. Well, you can say whatever you want to say. However, there are consequences. Mm-hmm. And what she said on national television about a president who's been shot, and there's been 2 other assassination attempts. They say 2, but we had Butler, the golf course shooter, and then the Iranian plot, right? That was stopped that was going on in between those 2 incidents. So for her to go on national television and say something like that is over the line, possibly even quite illegal. And if a Republican said something like that about a Democrat, they'd be in big trouble. And I'm not saying she should be fired or not. I think they should just dispense with having a Democrat on that show. My opinion is
that's not going to happen.
It makes it unwatchable, the Democrats they have up there. I don't care who it is. Whatever Democrat they have there, all the way back to the beginnings with Bob Beckel, I'm not interested in what they have to say. It's annoying. It makes me not want to watch the show.
A lot of liberals watch The Five. Even Meryl Streep admitted she watches The Five. So they will always have a liberal on there because they need to have somebody that the liberals can watch and feel they're scoring some points. They will always have a liberal. And I don't think they will get rid of her because, like I said, everybody hates her. And some people love to hate her. She's a good villain. She's confident. I don't agree with anything she says, but she's confident and she doesn't back down. And she takes on 4 people at once. Okay, she does. I don't agree with her, but they all give her a hard time. Believe me, all except Dana Perino, who's a useless piece of, I don't know what, she's so useless on the Fox. I can't stand her. I don't know what she does. I don't like her either. She's awful. Get rid of her. But Jesse, Greg, and Judge Jeanine just hammer her. I don't watch the whole show, but I see a lot of clips. And then Judge Jeanine posts pictures of them going out to lunch together like they're best friends. So is it fake? Is it real? Is it Memorex? I don't know. But I don't think they'll get rid of her. A lot of people are calling for her to be fired. I just don't see it happening. They want a villain. They want a liberal. And I think it's helping the ratings. I think it's getting more people to watch. So that's
me.
Yep. Well, they're getting more liberals to watch as long they don't care who it is.
Let us know in the comments what you think. I find having a liberal on the 5 makes it unwatchable. Now, I want to thank our Patreon supporters for their support. Thank you so much. And remember, if you're a Patreon supporter, you have access to commercial-free editions of each and every podcast episode, right? Exclusive to Patreon supporters. If you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of this and every episode of the program on whatever platform you are listening to us on. Our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you shout-out on every episode. So the names you will hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Rick, Nick, Wesley, Macho, Mike P, Carlos, Paulette, John, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Richard, Alice, K-Mac, LeeZep, Shawna, Constance, George, Brandon, Rob and Trish Wilkerson, Christy R, and John S. These are our top Patreon supporters. All right, we're going to take our first break. Don't go anywhere. We've only just begun. There's a lot going on. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to transform your home with stunning lighting that goes beyond the ordinary? Vintage School has everything you need to elevate your space and create the perfect ambiance. Lighting is more than just about illuminating a room. It's about creating an atmosphere, setting the mood, and showing off your unique style. Proudly based in the United States, Vintage School offers a stunning collection of lighting solutions that can transform any space. From elegant chandeliers and sleek pendant lights to versatile desk lamps and outdoor solar lights, their curated selection combines classic charm with modern technology. Whether you're updating your living room, kitchen, garden, or your office, Vintage School has the perfect lighting to fit your needs. Go to vintageschool.com today. That's school spelled S-K-O-O-L, and discover stylish, energy-efficient lighting options that last. Don't settle for the ordinary. Elevate your space and light up your life with a perfect blend of style and functionality. VintageSchool.com. When it comes to safety at work, you deserve the best. Protex-DZ.com equips workers just like you with top quality safety gear and workwear that's designed to protect and enhance your performance. Whether you work in construction, healthcare, road work, warehouse work, and more, Protex-DZ.com have what you need and what you're looking for. From durable steel-toe safety sneakers, tactical military boots, or construction rain boots, your feet will be protected in any environment. Need head protection? No problem. Protex-DZ.com carry everything from construction helmets to anti-fog gas masks. They even have face shields. And don't forget about hand protection. Their selection includes industrial gloves, kitchen gloves for restaurant workers, welder gloves, and even insulated gloves for electricians. When you're looking for custom gear, Protex-DZ.com have an incredible selection of print-on-demand items, including phone cases, t-shirts, hoodies, and more. You can customize them for holidays like Halloween and Christmas, and they ship worldwide. Visit the store right now at Protex-DZ.com. View the inventory. You will be impressed. You can also find them on Facebook at ProtexDZ. And right now, their countdown discount has started. Buy one item, get 20% off. Buy two, receive 25% off. And buy three, you'll get a 30% discount. Protex-DZ.com. Your partner in safety, performance, and style. Protex-DZ.com. Have you just graduated school and are ready to take on the world? Before you do, order your copy of the book from husband, father, beloved teacher, and author Michael Hernandez, Dear Graduate. In Dear Graduate, author Michael Hernandez shares the wisdom passed down from his own father and mentors to help the next generation thrive. Dear Graduate is filled with wit, sarcasm, and brutal honesty. It gives young adults the mental framework, daily habits, as well as tips to navigate life with confidence. His students call him Mr. H, and he doesn't want to waste your time. His advice is quick, to the point, and crafted for the fast-paced world we live in. There's no long speeches, no complex theories, just straightforward guidance to help you create a happier, healthier, and more balanced life. Dear Graduate is perfect for any graduate looking to make their mark on the world, or anyone seeking a fresh perspective in a noisy culture. And parents, it makes a great gift for the student in your life. Order your copy of Dear Graduate at BarnesandNoble.com and Nook, and let Dear Graduate be your guide to a brighter future. Mike Lindell is offering wholesale pricing for Christmas. The standard MyPillow, just $14.88. They've never been offered this low before. That's right, just $14.88, and free shipping on orders over $75. So go to MyPillow.com right now and use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and get the standard MyPillow for just $14.88, the lowest price ever. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. Okay, so they're very desperate, Kamala and Tim Walz, to get men. So Tim Walz wanted to go out and show he's a real man. He went hunting. He went hunting today. And what was it, pheasant?
Yeah, that's real manly.
Okay,
that's what the British royalty hunt.
A pheasant.
Give me a break.
I've hunted, not since I was a kid. I've hunted, well, I've hunted two exciting things, okay? But I've hunted gator, and I've hunted wild boar.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like some real man safari stuff.
Yes, it is.
It is, and it's pretty, especially the wild boar. Okay, I know you guys think gators. The wild boar, that's something else. But anyway, I don't hunt now, and I did that as a kid with my dad. I'm not into hunting. I just like to go to the store and buy meat. I'm not into that. But anyway,
I don't like Don Jr.'s a big hunter. It's not my thing.
There's this video of Tim Walz hunting. He's got more fluorescent stuff on him than a construction worker waving the flag on a night job on the side of the road. I've never. This guy, I mean, the birds are going to fly away from him. Okay, he's so reflective. But there's this video of him loading his rifle, and I can't see what kind of rifle it is. I don't know what you hunt pheasant with, but I've never seen
King Charles.
Yeah, exactly. I've never seen a man, especially a guy who had all this Army service, load a rifle quite like that? To me, he looked like he didn't know what he was doing.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
He looked like he didn't know how to load the rifle. He really, to me, it looked really dangerous. He put the video you see him from behind, it looked like he put the butt of the rifle
on his knee.
That's right. And was loading, which is not a secure position.
This is how Dick Cheney loads a gun, apparently, because he got his friend shot.
I think Dick Cheney loads the gun pointed at his friend, okay, because that's how he did.
The way I've seen enough movies to know.
Well,
I've never handled a rifle, okay? But every military movie I've seen, I could be wrong, or hunting movie, is they put the rifle in the crook of their arm, like the armpit, and they point the gun down and hold the barrel there, and they load the gun that way with the other hand. That's how I've always seen it done, where they hold it steady, you know what I mean, and point it down. This guy pointed it up. I've never seen anybody resting on his knee. I mean, that's crazy.
Any gun that I have ever loaded, and I know I'm going to get comments from people that tell me I've been hunting and been a gun owner, you know, and I have it pointed straight up. Any weapon that I have ever, and I have been a gun owner since I was 12 years old. I know you can't legally own guns at 12, but my dad and my grandfather gave me a 410 shotgun when I was 12 and took me hunting after school one day. So I've owned guns since I was 12. I always, no matter what gun it is and no matter where I've been, I always have it pointing down. You know, and when he had it pointed up, it wasn't fully up. It was somewhat at an angle. It was very awkward. He did not have control of the weapon. And if it went off, he could have shot someone. And I don't shoot anything. Now, obviously, if you're hunting for birds, you're aiming up at the birds. But you don't really fire weapons up because what goes up must come down, and it's dangerous.
If you're hunting birds, you have to fire up.
Yeah, but you're hitting something. Hopefully,
right? Hopefully,
okay. And you're not typically. I've hunted. The only birds I've hunted, I hunted doves. Okay, once. Okay, a couple times. And you're not.
Shame on you.
My dad took me hunting for doves. And I don't remember pointing straight up in the sky like that. They were usually, it was kind of like on an angle, up into the sky.
Mourning doves or white doves? Or
I don't remember. I was 12. It was like 40 years ago, Kathy. But I would not do it now. And I'm not proud that I've hunted in the past, but because that's just not my thing. I prefer other people to kill my meat for me. That's more humane. But the way he was loading that gun, I don't know how a guy could have all those years in the Army and run around talking about being a gun owner and be so awkward with the gun.
Well, he's lied about everything. So, I mean, he must have served in the National Guard. I mean, that would be easy to prove. So
yeah,
he did.
No, he was in the National Guard.
So there's this new thing I want to talk about real quick with Meghan McCain. She's trying to be relevant again.
Oh,
okay. Kamala Harris gave a bizarre speech, laughing, giggling, and talked about how she came across John McCain in the Senate chamber one day, and he went up to her and said, "You're going to make a great senator." Okay? So Meghan McCain has come out and said yesterday that that's not true and that her father definitely did not like her, but she won't say exactly what he said about her because she doesn't want to get political. She doesn't want to help Trump. That's why. So she keeps doing interviews now. She did a couple today. She went with Mark Halperin, and she's alluding to the fact that her father didn't like Kamala, but she won't say exactly what he said about her because it's too crude.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what's going to happen is she's either angling to get interviewed on a show. She quit The View. I don't know if she even does her article in Daily Mail. I think Kennedy took over her spot because Kennedy does articles now.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I read an article by Meghan McCain. Nobody cares about Meghan McCain anymore. And I think I'm not saying what she's saying isn't true. And I'm sure it is true. But if she really wants to be relevant, she needs to spill it and tell everybody what her dad really said about Kamala. But she doesn't want to help Trump. That's her problem. So why say anything at all? Why even interject? I know something really bad, but I'm not going to tell you. I know my dad didn't say that, but I'm going to keep it to myself. Why even say something about that and not come clean? I think she'll eventually do an interview. I think she's trying to get on TV again or write an article. she's teasing it now. Like, I know something, and if you want to find out, you got to write a check. You know what I mean? Or give me a column somewhere. So I think she doesn't need money. She's rich.
Well, Kathy,
but
this is what I don't understand.
She likes to be in the media. She likes to be known.
This is what I don't understand, okay? Kamala was not in the Senate that long. John McCain's been dead for years
That's what
now.
they're saying, that the timeline doesn't match up.
Did they even know each other? They were in different parties.
Like 6 months.
So what could he have really said? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. And
they're saying when she was elected, he had already been diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah. So, I'm not saying he didn't know her or meet her, but what could he have said about her that meant much of anything? I call BS on Meghan McCain.
So, do you think that she's really got some story, or maybe he just had a first impression of her?
Or maybe she just makes it up, Kathy. I mean, how could you verify it?
She kept saying there was some dinner party in specific that she was at where her father was talking about her or didn't like her. Who cares? Okay.
Who cares what John
Her
McCain
father's
thinks?
Was a rhino, and she's just trying to be desperate. We all know Kamala's awful.
And you know what,
liar.
Kathy? If they had video of John McCain trashing her, that could have turned people. I mean, people are already turned off by Kamala. But I wanted to share this because I think this is important. Well, everything we talk about is important, of course, but I think this is very important. And this is this interview that Morning Joe did with Kamala's husband, Doug Emhoff. Now, I remember about a week and a half ago, there was a story came out that was well-sourced. It was in the Daily Mail with multiple people were interviewed that it was an accusation, allegedly, at the Cannes Film Festival about 2 years before Doug Emhoff married Kamala. He went as a guest with this girl he was dating to Cannes, and he slapped – this was the allegation. This is alleged that he slapped her so hard her body spun around. And he did this interview with Morning Joe, and they're talking about this slapping incident story. And let me play it, then we'll talk about it because this is very concerning. I think this was yesterday that this happened.
He was spreading it about you, saying that tabloid stories about your personal life, saying it should be front and center. He's saying it about your wife. And making incredibly crude and lewd suggestions about her past life. I'm just curious. I know I seem like a very zen, mindful person, but I think I'd be pissed off. And I'm just wondering, how do you all stay centered? How do you stay disciplined and not really go off and not really push back hard at these things?
We don't have time to be pissed off. We don't have time to focus on it. It's all a distraction. It's designed to try to get us off our game.
Does it get you off?
No. All we are doing, all we talk about is this election. We understand the stakes. We understand the responsibility.
What are the stakes? What are the stakes?
Our very country, our future. What kind of future are we going to have?
He doesn't deny that he did it, not once. He didn't deny it.
You know, I'm not trying to garner sympathy for Kamala. She's horrible.
No, she's a terrible person.
But I would not be surprised if, since she became vice president, things have gotten really ugly in her marriage with him. Mm-hmm. He seems, from what I've heard, the kind of man who likes to assert power over women.
Yeah.
And his wife is more powerful than him, technically, she's vice president. And what is he? And I could see him being, not nice to her. Abusive. Is all I'm going to say.
He could be abusive. We don't know. Is it possible that she's an abused wife?
A guy who slaps a woman so easily, and he, like you said, he didn't deny it in public, has hit women before.
Yeah, that's not a first.
That's a comfortable thing for him to do. And Kamala should not be in politics. She should be in therapy. I really feel she's a damaged woman who has Trump said today there's something wrong with her. She's got problems. And we don't know anything about her. Like, I watched an interview with J.D. Vance today with Megyn Kelly from 8 years ago. And, he wrote a book. There was a movie. And she really got into his life and his background. It was very interesting. And you really feel like you know a lot about him. And he was a senator. I know she was a senator. But you don't know anything really about this woman. And all she says is, I came from a middle-class family where they like their lawns. I mean, she's so bizarre the way she talks. I almost feel like she has a personality disorder going on from trauma. I mean, I'm not a doctor. This is my gut instinct telling me this. Like, there is something off with this woman, and everybody knows it, and they just won't say it out loud, and they're just trying to push her through to get her in the White House, and then they'll have control. She's not going to win. She's a disaster. Mm-hmm. Every time she opens her mouth, it's a disaster for them. It just gets worse and worse. She's worse than Biden. They should have kept Biden in.
Well, you know, Kathy, this thing here,
they might have maybe had a chance.
If he did not deny this slap, which is insane to me. If somebody accused me of something like that, I'd be very clear that I never did such a thing.
Of course.
And if he is abusive, that's something that a guy like that carries through. These abusive guys are like this with every relationship for their whole life. If she is abused, we've got a right to know. And if he's so set off now, wait until she's, if she were president.
Brian, look at his history with women.
What would this do to an insecure guy that hits women if his wife becomes a president?
Look at his history with women. He impregnated the nanny. Didn't he cause a miscarriage in somebody?
That's what maybe.
Maybe.
He said
this one.
He said to people in private, it's been reported that he did. But the nanny does have a child.
I mean, this guy is not zen. He seems like a monster to me. Mm-hmm. And I almost feel sorry for her, and not really, but in a way I'm not saying you should vote for her for that reason. She's the last person to be running the country, especially if there's like something like that going on. And I almost feel like she doesn't want to win, because if she wins, she's trapped with this guy. She's trapped. And I don't think she's happy. And you can tell by the way like Trump comes out, you could tell that guy is on cloud nine right now. He knows he's winning. He's having a good time. He is loving it. And there's so much momentum. More than I've ever seen with him. It's incredible. And with her, she looks frightened to me. Mm-hmm. If you look at her, she looks terrified. Like, what am I doing here? Like imposter syndrome, fake accents. She is just sad. Is sad to me.
I don't find her sad. I think she's a terrible person.
She is a terrible person, but something has changed since she was in the Senate. She is just different to me. When I used to see her in the Senate, she was like really tough, and like she would go after people. You know what it is, Kathy? Now she's just a mess.
Well, the thing with her husband, if that's true, but I think she's dealing with accountability for the first time.
Maybe. I mean,
and that's what happens.
She looks
at this level.
Like she is terrified to go out and speak, and just like she just does not want to be doing this. Like she kind of got pushed into it, and I think she wanted it at first, but now I feel like she wants out.
Yeah. Now, of course, we had this massive hurricane hit Florida last week, just terrible. And Tom Laporta, if you are in the state of Florida and you have roof damage, you need a repair, you need replacement, call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. I know a lot of you have from all over Florida. And there's been even though we didn't get hit by the hurricane where we're at around the radio station, they had tornadoes, even though there was no hurricane there. I saw some of the damage. There's a community that's a brand new community. Many of the houses are under construction. I saw a brand new home, Kathy, that had just finished being built. A full-size dumpster was picked up and put into the center of the roof. It's inside this brand new house.
My goodness!
I guess it's condemned already. But if you have roof damage, call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting and Roofing. I'm going to give you his cell phone number in a moment. He's a good MAGA guy. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need. He works on every type of structure, and he can handle the job no matter how small or how large. If you have a small single-family home, he can handle it. If you are with an HOA or a condo that has one building or 150 buildings, he can handle a job of any size, and he does incredible work. I've seen his work, and if you go to my YouTube channel, I did a YouTube video recently showing the roof work he did on a home not too far from us, a beautiful home, and I was really blown away. I would consider Tom Laporta and his crew, they're roofers, but they're also craftsmen. They're master roofers. Yeah. This is Tom Laporta's cell phone. Give him a call, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And make sure you tell him Brian Craig sent you. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
How would you like to earn more money and start living the life that you've dreamed of? You can learn how to do just that with the book from author Michael E. Bryant. Earn $300,000 plus per year as an AI prompt engineer. Available on Amazon. If you're looking to transition into a lucrative career, AI prompt engineering could be your next big opportunity. Author Michael E. Bryant is a seasoned expert and a prompt master at Chat Prompt Engineering, and he breaks down everything you need to know to succeed in this booming field. With this book, you'll learn the fundamentals of AI prompt engineering with a focus on tools like ChatGPT and other generative AI technologies. You'll discover the essential skills, training, and education you need to land a high-paying job or kickstart a successful freelance career. With real-world salary data, case studies, and expert advice, this book gives you the roadmap you need to start earning in the AI prompt engineering field. Are you ready to break into this exciting new industry? Then order your copy of Earn $300,000 plus per year as an AI prompt engineer from author Michael E. Bryant on Amazon. It's that time of year again, Christmas shopping time, and there's no better place to find unique, personalized gifts than ActicFoxMarket.com. They're your go-to Etsy shop for custom gifts, home decor, accessories, and so much more. Whether you're shopping for a loved one, a coworker, or just looking for something special to give yourself, Arctic Fox Market on Etsy has you covered. They have everything from cozy apparel to custom accessories. You'll find something for everyone, and they're veteran-owned and operated, based out of Texas. Use the promo code FAV25 and save 25% off your entire purchase. They also have fast, free shipping inside the United States. Start shopping right now at ArcticFoxMarket.com and start crossing those names off your Christmas gift-giving list. Unique personal gifts delivered right to your door. ArcticFoxMarket.com. From author Nadia Butler comes a must-read book for teens and young adults. Gold Bars and Gowns, the crime thriller of the year. Available on Amazon. In Gold Bars and Gowns, meet Ilea Shaw. She's a young Muslim woman determined to stay true to her faith, no matter what life throws her way. This is a story that explores the deep bonds of faith, family, and friendship. It'll keep you hooked from the first page to the last, searching for answers alongside Ilea. Gold Bars and Gowns offers non-Muslims a rare glimpse into the life of a Muslim woman living in today's world. And it's also a thrilling page-turning experience without explicit content. Gold Bars and Gowns, the crime thriller of the year from author Nadia Butler, is available on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and Kindle Unlimited. Order your copy right now. Did you know that nearly half of all nurses report feeling burned out, and that more than 60% of healthcare providers never seek mental health support? If you're a healthcare professional who wants to reduce stress and find peace, there is help available in the book, Human Caring Through Healing Haiku, Mindful Journaling for Healthcare Providers, from authors Jeanette Marino and Jane Anderson. With this must-read book, you'll recapture the joy of your work and the fulfillment of knowing you've truly made a difference with your patients. This journal offers simple, powerful tools to improve your emotional, mental, and even your physical well-being. Through the gentle practice of mindful journaling, you'll explore uplifting quotes from Dr. Gene Watson's Caring Science. Use soothing haikus to bring calm and clarity. You'll also find thought-provoking reflections to help you reconnect with your purpose. Recapture your passion for healthcare and order your copy of Human Caring Through Healing Haiku, Mindful Journaling for Healthcare Providers, available on Amazon and at healinghaiku.net. This book makes a great gift for the healthcare professional in your life, as well as hospital staff members and those who work at medical practices. Order your copy right now, because when you care for yourself, you care for others. Human Caring Through Healing Haiku on Amazon at healinghaiku.net.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. So Trump's just been on an incredible rally swing the last few days. On Friday, he had two events. The first one was in Aurora, Colorado. The second one was in Reno. And if you notice, in particular in Colorado, it was kind of a small place for Trump. It wasn't one of those huge arenas. It was in Sarah from Colorado, who you guys see in the chat room all the time, was at the Aurora, Colorado Trump event yesterday.
Oh,
and it was
cool.
She told me it was in a hotel.
Yes.
It was a big room, but it was still in a hotel. And I believe the reason that is security.
Yeah.
The security they have around him right now may be even greater than when he was in his first term. I mean, it's really, which is a sign that the people in the government know he's coming back, so they want to be in his good graces.
He has requested helicopters and everything.
I've seen it. A week or so ago, I was driving home from the radio station, and I was driving by on I-95, the airport where Trump Force One is, and I caught Trump's motorcade, and I talked about it at the time. I've never seen so many roads closed since he's not, because he's not the sitting president right now. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about since he left office. I've not seen so many police cars. They had so many roads shut down. I saw helicopters flying over. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. And I just bumped into the motorcade. It was kind of cool, actually. I didn't know he was going to be driving there, and the timing, it was so weird because I stayed at the radio station later than I normally do for a meeting, and I bumped into the Trump motorcade. It was pretty cool, which I would have missed if I hadn't stayed late for that meeting. But anyway, these two events he did, the one in Aurora and Reno, he talked about the deportation plan, which he's got a name for now, Operation Aurora. And they named it Operation Aurora. They took it from the local police there in Colorado. But the deportation plan is going to be called Operation Aurora, and it's named after Aurora, not just because the local police had an operation called that, but because of those Venezuelan prison gang members that bust into that apartment building. And those guys, they're so dangerous and fearless. It's not just they busted in with rifles. Some of them were not even wearing masks, so they weren't even afraid of being identified. No. And that video that we've seen of that was caught on a doorbell camera, and like the one that you hear me advertise. And the woman who I was very surprised that this woman did this. She is incredibly brave, and
she was on Fox too.
And if she were my mother or my wife, I would have done everything to stop her from doing this. But the woman who filmed the Venezuelan gang members on her doorbell camera, she went on Fox, but she was at the rally up on stage with President Trump speaking, and she's taken a great big risk doing that. But if it wasn't for that lady and her doorbell camera, we would not have seen that footage.
It's amazing.
Has really woken up a lot of people in this country as to what Kamala Harris is doing. And Stephen A. Miller was speaking he spoke before Trump came out at both events, Reno and Aurora. But in Aurora, he said, it's not for us to explain to them why we want to deport these criminals. It's up to them to explain why they want them here.
Exactly.
And there was some,
and it's not bigoted to want to close the border. It doesn't make you a bigot or a racist. This is what they say to get you to shut you down and to try to shame you into compliance. It is not bigoted.
They call you a racist.
Yeah, it is not bigoted to want to protect the country and love America and protect our citizens. That's the way it is, and the way it always was.
Well, Kathy,
until the last 10 years.
Think about this. If murderers and rapists move onto your street and start raping and murdering, are you a racist if you call the police to remove them?
Yeah, according to liberals, you are.
This is nuts. And that video in Aurora was scary. But there was some terminology that Trump and Stephen A. Miller both used that I've not heard before. This border invasion that we're going through with all this crime, they call it Kamala's reign of terror, right? Trump said Kamala's reign of terror will end, which I thought that was, the reign of terror is where that comes from is during the French Revolution when they had the guillotine, they were cutting everybody's head off.
That's right.
They had this reign of terror where everyone was getting their head cut off. And it's a pretty bad, reign of terror is very strong term to use, but I like
accurate.
I like that a lot. Trump called it. He said Kamala's reign of terror will end.
Yep.
And Stephen A. Miller, he said he was, and they unveiled Operation Aurora, which is the deportation plan. And Stephen Miller's this I've never thought of it the way that Stephen Miller phrased it. He says the occupation will end. And what he means is we're being occupied by these criminals that Kamala's been bringing here that are involved in this reign of terror. I never thought of it that way before. And we are being occupied.
Stephen Miller's right. The question is why?
Yeah.
Not why do you want to shut the border? Why are you letting these people in?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not out of the kindness of their hearts. No. This is they have a plan. They have a plan in place why they're allowing this to happen, why they're allowing cities to be destroyed, why they're allowing so much crime. And there was I saw an interview today. They released a guy who worked under Kamala when she's the DA for 2 months. He had worked with the previous guy, and he said he lost his election to her. And he said, I worked with her for 2 months and then I quit because she had a new policy. If you were a drug dealer, you didn't go to jail until your third arrest.
Oh, my goodness.
So he said she was very soft on crime. So she goes around and tells everybody how she was a DA that was tough on these criminals. No, that's a lie. The guy said that's not true. And Trump said something interesting. He said he wants to make it so if an illegal kills somebody, it's an automatic death penalty. He wants to do that. And then he's also talked about the death penalty for drug dealers because they kill up to 500 people on average. But he is going to straighten everything out. And of course, when he gets in, the liberals are going to do everything they can to stop him, to keep him from doing anything. I really don't think he will allow himself to get distracted like he did last time with the media. He doesn't seem to be, he has said, I've learned a lot of lessons. I don't think he's a man of regret. But I do think he's a man that can look back and learn from things. And he has said, I know who to trust and who not to trust. And I learned a lot when I was in there. I know how it works now. He said when he went in, he did not know how it worked at all. He said, I thought I did, but I didn't. And he was led astray by a lot of corrupt people. And he said, now I know how it works and I know what to do.
Yeah.
So he has that perspective we have talked about many times. And I almost feel like it was a blessing that he had that 4-year gap because it's given him even greater perspective to really peel back the layers and see what's really going on and for us to see what's really going on. It's exposed a lot. And he has great momentum. I am really excited about his rally tonight. It's in Coachella. I don't think he has ever done a rally in California. And my daughter said it's in Palm Springs out in the desert. And I looked, it's at this huge ranch. And there are people that have been camping out for days, like the Coachella concert. There are people that have been out there for days in tents and in their RVs. This might be the biggest rally he's ever had. I mean, and then he's going to do Madison Square Gardens in a couple weeks. I mean, this is bigger than even 2016.
You know, I was just looking at the video. I saw a longer clip of Tim Walz with the rifle hunting.
Yeah, it's bad.
The one I saw earlier was really short, like a couple seconds. The one I just looked at is much longer. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. I'll tell you, he didn't have the gun pointed straight up in the air, which is wrong anyway. He had it pointed straight out. This is very dangerous what he was doing. He could have shot who knows who when he was messing around with this gun, this rifle. He obviously does not know how to use a gun safely. He was pointing it. The first video I saw, when we were talking about it earlier in the show, he put the gun on his knee and then put it straight up in the air. This one, he's got it straight out in front of him. Let me tell you.
How is that possible for somebody who was in the National Guard for 20 years? How is Jack Posobiec said he's never handled a gun? It's clear.
It looks to me like a guy who's never handled a gun. You know, I
don't know how that's even
whenever
possible.
I go to the gun, I've been going to gun ranges too my whole life, right? And gun ranges can get a little scary because what happens, not all, but most gun ranges also sell guns.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys at gun ranges have they don't know what to do with guns. They don't know how to handle guns. They've never owned a gun, and they buy a gun because it's big, cool and they like the way it looks and they got a gun. They're on the gun range. They don't know how to handle it. They don't know what to do. And it's scary, right? Sometimes I've been to gun ranges. I've reported people. There's a range master. I've reported people because what they're doing is dangerous. The way they're like Tim Walz. I
don't love gun ranges. I get nervous there.
When you're a responsible gun owner that has experience with weapons like I do or Jack Posobiec, and you can see a guy a mile away and you could tell he's never handled a gun before. And I don't know what this guy did in the Army, but it must not have had much to do with rifles, which I don't even know how that's possible.
Is there a way to go into the National Guard and not handle weapons? Is there
the National Guard?
You have conscientious objectors like in Hacksaw Ridge in that story. I got to see that movie, by the way.
They still train them how to use the guns.
They do. Okay.
They just don't use them in combat.
They don't, but they still. So how is this possible?
They made a medic. Conscientious objectors, they made medics.
Right. How is this possible that you can be in the National Guard and not know how to handle?
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you, if
it's not an AK-47, this is a rifle. It's not that complicated.
If I was with a group of guys and we went hunting and I saw a guy handling his rifle like this,
I'd be out of there.
I'd get in I'm out of here, guys. Someone's going to get shot,
and
it's not going to be the bird
here.
Yeah, I mean, look, Kathy, if you look at this, he's holding it straight out. I'm showing you the video.
He's not even looking at where he's pointing that gun.
This is worse than Dukakis in the tank, and what he's doing could kill someone.
That gun could easily go. I mean, it's so irresponsible. It almost looks like a child handling a gun.
Yeah,
and it could have gone off and definitely hit something or somebody.
And I'll tell you another couple things about this. Okay,
what an idiot.
He's going pheasant hunting, right? He's got all this specialized gear on, it looks like chaps. I don't know what those are, and the orange vest and everything, and the orange hat.
Chaps.
Okay. When I went hunting, now again, I haven't been hunting in many years, but when I went hunting with my dad and his friends, we didn't wear clothes like we were on a construction crew on the side of a road.
These are woke hunters.
You
wear camo.
We wore
right?
I mean,
you're like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't.
You blended when you go hunting. You want to now. Maybe it's different with hunting pheasant.
This is a guy working a construction site on the highway with traffic, so the cars see you at night.
Yeah, and it's so weird that he's hunting pheasant. It's like when Dr. Oz went to the grocery store to complain about crudité.
Yeah, crudité.
And who the hell worries about the price of crudité right now? Like, most people, I know what crudité is, but I don't buy a crudité platter.
I don't know what it is. I'm a straight
with
man.
White wine.
I don't know what a crudité is.
It's like chopped up vegetables and
But he was,
and stuff.
Dr. Oz was so pissed that the price of, what is it called?
That
crudité?
really backfired on him.
And I'll tell you,
kind of like that.
Another thing with Tim Walz, it's not just that he's holding this rifle that's loaded straight ahead. It's insane. He's wearing all this hunting gear. It's all brand new. Like the tags were just taken off of it. None of it's been worn before.
Yeah, I'm watching it now at a different angle.
So if he's a hunter, wouldn't he already have these clothes? Why has he got brand new hunting clothes that look like they're right off the rack?
Everything about this guy is a lie. Everything about this guy is a lie.
Oh my goodness. It's really bad.
He's just a poser. He's lied about everything. His wife's a lunatic. Who talks to everybody like they're 5 years old. It's singing. Did you see her singing songs? I mean, these are crazy people.
Well,
I don't know how this guy became a governor
or a soldier. This is really weird. You guys go and look at the video of Tim Walz hunting with the gun, and
everything they're doing is backfiring.
And those of you that are hunters, do you think he's gone overkill on the orange stuff? Kathy, it's insane.
I don't know. We'll have to watch Don Jr.'s Instagram. He hunts, he fishes, so I wonder what he wears. But let me see if I could see his comment on this, because he's going to comment on this.
Don Jr. hasn't commented yet, but
it's coming.
He's a hunter. He's a hunter. So I just looked up some pictures of Don Jr. hunting, and he's wearing like camo and stuff.
Right? Yeah.
He's not dressed in roadwork construction clothes. You know what I mean? Like this guy. It's everything with these people's fake, Kathy. There's just nothing about it. And you know what's crazy about it? This thing with the gun. He's more awkward with the rifle, this former National Guard sergeant,
He said this is his own gun. This is his gun.
Well, he must not have ever used it.
Like the fake dog. They said the dog he walked wasn't his dog. That it was the neighbor's dog.
Tim Walz is more awkward with this rifle than Kamala was with that shovel the other day. Right? Remember that?
That was pretty bad.
The thing with Tim Walz.
That was pretty bad.
This is so funny because he's out there trying to look like he's a man's man. You know, Donald Trump doesn't have to walk around with rifles and kill animals to be a man's man. He just walks around and he's the boss.
Donald Trump wears $100,000 watches and Bruno Maglia shoes.
No, that was OJ wore the Bruno Maglia.
No, but those are. Let me tell you,
Trump wears Bruno Maglia.
Well, I don't know, but he wears. That. I saw him do a town hall, and I saw like a good look at his shoes.
Yeah, they were nice.
He wears very nice shoes.
They were nicer than mine.
Very nice shoes, and I'm like, those are like probably $1,500. Those shoes. They're probably handmade in Italy. But you're right. He wears fancy stuff. He's a fancy guy. He wears expensive stuff. But he's still an alpha male, and he's tough as hell.
And Tim Walz is just a
this guy's just a big, awkward, fake nerd. And for this guy to go out, this thing with the gun, they're so desperate to get men to vote.
Yeah, I'm looking at all these.
This is what this is all about.
I'm looking at all these pictures of Don Jr. and Eric Trump hunting.
Yeah.
There's one picture with Don Jr. with his son, where they're wearing the, some of the orange stuff.
Because he's with a kid, probably.
Yeah, exactly. He's with his son.
Well, that's why I said Tim Walz looks like he's 10 years old.
But in all the other ones, he's wearing camo. And the thing about Tim Walz, though, he's trying to look like a man, like a tough man to win the man's vote. And he's out there holding a rifle in a very dangerous way where he could shoot someone. And he obviously doesn't know what he's doing.
Could you imagine if he had?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh my goodness. God.
Oh my goodness.
Guys in the military.
They probably blame the NRA for that.
Yeah, guys in the military. Well, the thing is, they've been going around telling everybody how they're gun owners and they gun this and we go and this and that. And, Kamala, I'll shoot somebody that breaks in my house. Give me a break. And then you see him and he doesn't even, and he said this is his gun and he can't even figure out how to load it. He's looking at it like, where do I put
where do
the
bullets go? Yeah. Where do the shells go?
This would be like me with a rifle, which I've never handled before. I know how to load a 38 or a Glock.
You know
that's
what,
we have, but I wouldn't. But I'd figure it out better than him.
He looks so out of place in his his funny workman's clothes and not handling the rifle. It wouldn't have surprised me if he went out there hunting wearing one of those long red coats like they do in England when they go fox hunting, and he thought that's what you wore when you're hunting. This guy doesn't look like he's ever. Gracious. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. It doesn't get better than this.
No.
Well, listen, we're out of time, but go on X and look up the videos of Tim Walz hunting. All right, I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll talk to you next time.